Hey, this is Chris from GuitArmy, and in today's quick guitar lesson, I'm going to have you sounding like an 80s rock god in just a couple minutes. Alright, the first thing we're going to do to start sounding like an 80s rock god, this is going to be mostly focused on chords. It's going to be a quick guitar lesson. We can talk about leads and stuff in another lesson. But the first thing we're going to do this out of A minor. So we're going to get used to just doing some 8th notes here with our 5th string open. We're going to palm mute them. This would be non-palm muted, this would be palm muted. And we're going to try it, this is your A, these two notes right here, this E and this A, that's your kind of your A power chord. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some power chords going up the neck based off of the 4th string. That's very 80s. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this E power chord here, this E and this B right there. That's your 5. In the key of A, your 5 chord is an E chord, so that's going to be this is an E power chord. You have A, then you have E. Then we're going to move up a half step and play F. Because we have an F here and a C. So that's like your flat 6 power chords. So far what we have is an A power chord, then an E power chord, then an F power chord. And then we're going to go up here on frets 5 and 7. We're going to add a G power chord. That's your flat 7 in the key of A. Then we're going to slide up 2 more frets to frets 7 and 9 right here, and that's your A power chord or your 1 chord. Alright, so if I string those together, they're going to sound like. I mean, that sounds very 80s. There's tons of 80s rock songs that are playing power chords based off the 4th string and kind of bouncing off of the 5th string open. Now let's go ahead and talk about a couple of variations we could do. So the first thing I would like to do is take a look at what are the notes in A minor that are around these power chords. So you got. So when I play this chord here, this is the 5th note in the scale. This is your flat 6, your minor 6. So I could put that in there. I could go. I think that sounds great. That sounds really cool. And basically I'm just using notes in scale. This is your scale 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1, 2. So instead of moving up a whole or a half step to that F power chord, I'm just changing the note just in the power chord, the E power chord. So you can do all different kinds of things. What I think is fun is to experiment with all the notes that are within the scale right there. So you could go. What I'm doing is I'm just playing an A power chord, and then I'm just going up the 2nd and the flat 3rd, or the notes B and C and an A. What I did there is I just, while I'm doing this pattern, I just added in a higher note on that scale. I added the F in here, so I think that sounds cool. And it's kind of up to you. It's up to you how creative you want to get. So I see here my G. This is my G power chord, but I have these notes here in the scale. So I could go. So all I'm doing, instead of just playing this G power chord, I'm just looking at what are the notes in the A minor scale, and just kind of incorporating them into my pattern, basically. Now let's take a look at something else you could do with this 80s style. Something else that you could do to incorporate in is basically 4ths instead of power chords. You could just basically do 2 notes beside each other. So you could do this kind of like an A power chord. We can't do it here on the 3rd fret because this B flat isn't in an A minor scale. 1, 2, flat 3. So what you could do is you could do this. You could do this E and this B right here. But then up here we could do both on fret 5 and then both on fret 7. Get this. To me, that doesn't sound as good as the power chords, but it's still something that you could do. You could kind of switch them in and out, interchange those with some power chords. And you can go up higher than just this A right here. You could go up... the next one's a little weird because you're going up here and it's on the 9th and the 10th fret, that B, kind of B diminished. It's a root and a flat fifth there, B diminished fifth or whatever, flat fifth, so that one sounds kind of weird. So I think for this exercise, I think you just want to just have some fun and mess around with A, E, F, G, and A. You can also then, instead of playing fifths, you can reverse them and play whatever the appropriate third is for the chord. And if you're like, well, I don't know what that is, well, I guess I'll tell you right now. For E minor, it would be this E and the G string open. For F, the flat 6 chord is an F major chord, so you play F and A here. And if you slide up here, the G chord, G major is your flat 7 chord, so I can play a G and a B here. And this is, instead of playing the power chord, we're playing the root and the third. So you get this F, G, then up to A. So instead of playing the A power chord, we have an A and the minor third here, which is C. Then you can reverse it. That's an example of where you could just experiment and mess around and add in other notes. You could I could have went. That sounds better. Let's do that. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking my A power chord A and so it's a dyad. It's an A and a C, and then I'm adding in the D here. I'm adding in this note. I'm going. Then we're at G. I have the root third G and B. Then I'm adding in a C, which is a fourth. Kind of making it sound like a sus4. Then F A, and then I'm adding in this B flat. No, I'm going to add in. Sorry, I'm going to add in this B right here, right? All right, so let's go ahead and try that. Put it together. And that's just a couple different things that you can do to sound like an 80s rock god. I could have based it off of the 6th string, but then it starts getting kind of muddy. A lot of 80s songs really do a lot based off of that, the power chords on the 4th string with a kind of a pedal tone open A. I have a lot of I have students. Usually it's a kind of middle-aged guys. They want to sound like they can play music from the 80s. So if you're a beginner guitar player or an intermediate guitar player, I think this is really fun just to start, just kind of get that sound, like get the sound and feel of the 80s in your hands. If you liked this quick guitar lesson and you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you get notified when I come out with new guitar lessons. If you'd like to support my channel or you would like to have access to all of my online guitar courses, I already have over 300 guitar videos over on Patreon at patreon.com/GuitArmy. I hope to see you over there.